I'm glad you made it back. Today, we are starting the first in our series of lessons on how to play the blues. Now, I'm sure when a lot of you guys hear the words blues music, you sort of think about like an old guy 100 years ago sitting on a porch, sipping lemonade, watching a train rolling by in the distance, blowing into a harmonica, strumming on an old steel guitar, wailing about how his wife's left him and his dog's left him. You know the kind of thing I mean. Well, I'm sitting on a freight train, chewing on that jelly roll. Yes, I'm sitting on a freight train, chewing on that jelly roll. Apologies to kids in the hall there. Well, yes, that is blues music, of course. And maybe that particular style of blues music isn't super popular today, but believe it or not, a lot of it actually does make up the building blocks for today's popular music. The tools that I'm going to teach you in this mini blues series are going to help you in your own songwriting, they're going to help you with your playing, and they're even going to help develop your ear to help you work out how to play your favorite songs on your own. Having at least a basic understanding of the blues will help you to play pop, rock, and even heavy metal. So let's break it down. When I'm talking about playing blues on the guitar, I'm talking about two main things. One, I'm talking about the chord progression, and two, I'm talking about the blues scale. And today's lesson is going to be mainly about the blues chord progression, better known as a 12-bar blues. We'll start off with 4 on A, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'd have 2 on D and 2 more on A, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last 4 you'd play 1 on E, 1 on D, 1 on A, and then if you're going to repeat that 12-bar pattern, you'd play 1 on E7. Although if you're ending, you would just play a second one on A. That is the exact chord progression you'll need if you're going to play the 12-bar blues in the key of A. But you might have noticed we're playing all these major chords and we're playing a sort of happy-go-lucky down, down, up, down, up pattern. Now that isn't very bluesy to me, so we need to muddy things up a bit. So for the rest of the lesson, instead of playing the down, down, up, down, up pattern, we're going to play a nice chuggy down, da 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 down pattern. But something else that we can do that'll really help us out to make it sound even more muddy and bluesy is to get away from these open position chords with the open strings that ring out like this, and go up here and start playing what are called power chords. By the way, guys, do you like this guitar? I absolutely love it, and it was given to me by my good friends at Carla. If you would like to find out more information about this particular model or any of the guitars or ukes or anything that I use in any of my videos, then click on my special affiliate link and you will save money on anything on the Carla website just because you watch my vids. Whether you're looking to get a new ukulele or guitar, or even a tuner or a case or any of their cool accessories, click on my special link and you'll save money just because you follow me. Now, we learned in our second or third lesson that to put a chord together, we need the first, third, and fifth note of the scale. So in an A major, that would be A, C sharp, and E. And if we wanted to make that a minor chord, we would lower the third note to just a C natural. Well, what we're going to do now is learn power chords, and they don't have a third at all. You're just playing the first, which in this case is an A, and a fifth, which in this case is the E. So we're going to put our first finger on the 5th fret of the E string here, the 6th string, and let's put our third finger on the 7th fret of the A string to give us an E note. And let's just chug down, down on those two strings like this. And that's how to play your A power chord. The great thing about that power chord shape is it's easy to slide up and down the fretboard and easily find the chord you're after. We've got our A power chord here. All we have to do is slide that up to the 10th fret here, and we've got our D power chord. And then back to the A again. Then we can slide up to the 12th, back to the 10th, and then back to the 5th again. And back up to the 12th. And that's just a really easy way of finding chords. If you know the notes on this bottom 6th string, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. If there's ever a chord you're not sure of, you can just play the power chord version and easily find it by sliding up and down this string. So is there an even easier way than that to play it? Well, yes, there is. This is a shape that you can transfer down to the next 2 strings. We've got our A power chord here. Now we did just slide it up to the 10th fret, but that's quite a long way to slide up a shape when all we really have to do is just transfer the shape down 1 set of strings. So instead of playing it on the 6th and 5th string like this, we can just move it down 1 set of strings, and we're playing it on the 5th fret of the 5th string for the D and the 7th fret of the D string for the A. So look, we've got our A power chord here, and just move that down 1 string closer to the floor, we've got our D. And then move it up 2 frets, we've got our E. And all of a sudden, we've got a whole 12-bar blues pattern just between the 5th and the 7th fret. A, 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 D, D, A, A, E, D, A, E. We can now play that sequence in any key we like, just by moving it up or down the fretboard. Let's say we're stuck in the movie Back to the Future, and Marty McFly turns around to us and says, "Hey guys, blues riff in B, follow me for the changes and try to keep up." No problem at all. We just slide the whole shape up 2 frets. So we're starting off on that B, which is the 7th fret of the 6th string, and we can play it exactly the same. F sharp, E, B, F sharp. Or maybe the blues song you're playing is just a little bit too high-pitched for your singer, and he says, "Hey guys, how about we play it in G?" No problem at all. Just get that shape and slide it down 2 frets. So we're starting off on the G, the 3rd fret of the 6th string. D, C, G, D. And now we've basically just learnt the secret that can help us play the blues easily in any key without having to think about what we're doing at all. We just have that little 3-chord pattern, and as long as we start on the right note, we know we'll be in the right key. Now we know that that chord sequence is the same in A, B, C, D, G, A, E, whatever it is you want to play it in. If we say that the first chord we start on is chord 1, i.e. A, then the second chord is chord number 4, D. And the third chord is chord number 5, E. So an easier way to memorize that 12-bar blues sequence, instead of thinking of the individual chords, is to just think of them as numbers on a scale, like this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5. And that's a much easier way of memorizing a 12-bar blues chord sequence. So all the way through, we've just been chugging downstrokes on these 2 power chord strings like this. Down, da, down, da, down, da, Yeah, it sounds pretty cool to start with, but if you listen to it over and over again, it gets a little bit boring. Is there something we can do to spice it up? Well, yes, of course there is. Let me give you a little tip of something that you can do to make your rhythm work sound a bit more interesting when you're playing the blues. As we said, that power chord is made up of the first and fifth notes of the scale. But what about if we start playing it with the first and fifth, then we make it the first and sixth, and then the first and minor seventh, and then back to the sixth. So we work our way up and down that second string. It's a bit of a stretch if you're playing on an acoustic guitar, but it can be done, and it's worth the effort. And if there's one thing I've already taught you again and again and again, it's to look for patterns when you're playing. So, once we've played that on the A string, we don't have to learn a whole load of fancy new notes to play it on the D chord. We just move the shape up one string closer to the floor and play the exact same pattern in the key of D. Then back to the A 2 more times. Then up to the chord of E. To the chord of D. Back to the A. And finish on the chord of E. And that's just one way that you can spice up your strumming and make it a little bit more interesting for the listener. Next week, I'm going to teach you how to start improvising around a 12-bar blues pattern, and you will play your very first guitar solo. So before next time, I want you to memorize that 12-bar blues chord sequence so you can play it in any key up and down the fretboard using those power chords. Again, remember to sign up to my Patreon page, patreon.com/uketeacher. You'll get all kinds of extra cool stuff, including backing tracks for lessons like this. You'll get song sheets, additional worksheets, and even Patreon-only bonus exclusive lessons that you won't find anywhere else. Not only that, but you're helping support me doing what I'm doing now, which means I can continue making these lessons for you. Don't forget that I post a brand new guitar lesson each and every week on Wednesday, and I post a brand new ukulele lesson for free each and every week right here on YouTube on Sunday. So be sure to subscribe now and turn on those notifications so you never miss a lesson. I've been the ukulele teacher, teaching you how to play the guitar, and until next time, I love you all and I wish you the best.